me belt is loose. Well, I better pull up my trousers and tighten me belt on my Genmitsu 4040 Reno CNC machine. Well, it's supplied to me by Saint Smart. No money has exchanged hands. And I'm not going to say to you, I haven't been paid, so I can be honest. Alright? I kind of just said that, but not. No, I see it so often. Why can't you just be honest anyway? Even if people paying you, you still got to be honest. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is tension this belt in this machine. Okay? It's all been pretty much installed mechanically. I've still got electrics to do, but that's going to be another video. But we're going to install this little tensioner into this machine and tension the Y-axis belt, which is very, very floppy at the moment. Now, because it's pretty much assembled, apart from a few bits and pieces when you buy this machine, obviously the belts can't be tensioned, because, you know, we'd be sitting in storage for God knows how long, couldn't it? And the belts will be, well, getting stretched and stuff. It's not good for them. Now, this is quite an unusual machine because it's belt driven. CNCs are usually screwdrive. So if you've got a screwdriver, the worm gear, getting back and forth, you've got a little motor on the end there. And now, this is very much like the lasers over there, but the lasers have a softer belt arrangement, where this is a hard belt. These belts are much stiffer than what is actually on there. It's a harder belt. Now, because of that, you have to have a tensioner. Alright, obviously you can't tension the belt. It's not okay, I'll pull it in, I'll give it a stretch on, that's about right, that'll do. No, you need to use an actual tensioner itself. It is a bit of guesswork regarding, oh, that feels about right, regarding, yeah, the tension. You want a little bit of deflection in it, but not this much, okay? There's a lot of deflection in that belt. If you had like 3mm deflections, probably about right, okay? Now, they're all about right. That one's probably got about 4mm in it. This one, no, 5mm, because we've got the same arrangement here. There's a belt here, round the little stepper motor to each end here, and the same on this side here, and the same one on top here as well. But the rise and fall is a screwdriver, as you can see. There, get up and down, right? You can move it and down there like so on the screwdriver. And then you have the little milling motor here. So effectively, it's a milling machine for wood or plastics and stuff like that. Now, like I say, it's been supplied to me, and I'm very grateful for that. So, you know, I thank Saint Smart for sending it to us, and hopefully I can do it justice with a few videos. So what we've got to do is we've got to evaluate what we have here. Now, we have this tensioner, okay? Tensioner. And as you can see there, let's just move that out of the way a little bit. There you go. We have a screw here, and then we have a little clamp arrangement on the top here, like so. And then we have these two locking screws there, and two locking screws on the other side. And excuse my hands, but I'm a woodworker, and I tend to bash them with hammers. But what we've got to actually do is, before we can actually mount this thing, we have to disassemble. Yes, disassemble Johnny 5 we are. No, don't disassemble. So disassemble Johnny 5 and remove this section here so we can gain access to these 3 holes. Now, the things that you've got to have ready, they come into the pack with in the little plastic box. Right, they'll be in there. Right, as the 3 screws for mounting, but also this little isolator here. There's a little round isolator, it's a little tiny, like a metal tube. All right, polished metal tube. Now that's quite important because the belt has to ride over the top of that, and I'll show you in a moment. So yeah, it's a little chrome. It's obviously steel because it's magnetic, so it's not stainless. It's sticking to my little dish. So we're going to disassemble this first. I've also got another camera, so I can show you the assembly here much closer, and hopefully it will be in focus. Oh, and it is. There you go. So this is the belt, and as you see, it's a harder belt than what you expect to see on a laser. Maybe that bigger lasers might have ones like that, but you know, the lasers that I've got are quite soft belts. This is quite a stiff belt. So what we're going to do first of all is disassemble. Let's move that away. To do that, I need some Allen keys, and they do come with Allen keys in the kit, but I've been suffering with them somewhat, and I don't like them. Right. That does those ones there, okay. I don't know if I need to remove that yet. Or this one. Right, so we unscrew that. I'll do it by hand anyway, look. And this section here should, a bit of luck, slide out. Alright, so put that into a dish. Ah, I won't slide that because you've got to loosen these screws on the sides. So we need to. Nope, wrong one. It looks like a 2mm. What does it say on it? Does it tell me what this should do? I think it's 2mm. Alright, so loosen that, loosen that. Same on the other side. It's just like little locking grub screws with like a little hex. So now it moves out. So I can get rid of that now. Slide that out, as you can see, it's slid out of there. And now we're going to have to mount that onto it. That way up, so you've got the angle at the top, okay? Not the bottom, but at the top. So we're going to mount that on there like so, okay? Like that. So there's three little screws. 3 little screws. Oh my god, a tiny little hanky. Have I got one that small? Might have to use this. Don't want to use this. Nope, that's smaller than that. This is actually one of theirs. And that was too small. Blimey. I don't know if they're Imperial or if they're... Oh, found it. There you go. So, I can't actually see what's going on. So let's bring the other camera in. Like so. Alright, can you see that? Goes into there like that. I'm at a funny angle here. I'm actually using the camera to see what I'm doing. That's what you think, you have to make sacrifices. Oh, I've got paint on my hands. Oh, blimey. Alright, so that's going to be screwed into there. So I don't want to do tight. Don't want to be tight, just want to be just so it can move. Otherwise it'll be difficult to get the other screws in, which wouldn't be very helpful. So, next one. Let's just twist that in there like that. Like I say, I don't want to do them tight yet. I could use my sonic screwdriver. Yeah, got this one off Doctor Who. You know, there it is. If I wanted to, but you know, there's only 3 little screws to go in, so what's the point? Oh, find the hole. There you go. I'm doing it by wire. Da 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 da. There we are. Okay, let's move that over there a little bit. Dun 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 dun. Right. Tighten up. So now I can tighten these up now. So that's loose in the middle there. You don't want the top one next. Get in there. It's like trying to work in a mirror. It's like everything's back is the wrong way around. And then that one. This is. Oh dear. Ah, there you go. La 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 la. Right. Okay. Don't over tighten them because they're only tiny little screws, and this is all aluminium. So if you do them too tight, you could rip the threads out. Yes, the thread won't like you for it. No. Now in the top here, you can just about see there's 2 little screws there. Right. That is like a lock thing. Yeah. In the day, this at the moment, right, is locked into place. So we need to undo that. Yeah, again, I need to maybe get up a good idea. Nope, that's not the right one. It's going to be the same one I had a minute ago. Just loosen that. Loosen that. So that's just to lock that off. Like, when you're ready. But we leave that loose for the moment. Also, we have to put or reinstall this little bit. They don't actually matter what way round. I don't believe it does anyway. What way round it goes, because it's the same. Oh, I can't even show you. It's the same in both directions. You know, it's a mirror image of itself in both directions. So as long as you just slide that in there, like that, it doesn't actually matter. And then you get your screw, you get your other long screw. Oh, blimey, saucy. All right. In the bottom there like so, and effectively what you're doing is when you tighten this up, you'll be pulling that tensioner down against this belt. There's another little piece as well we can fit in there in a minute, which I'll show you. I'm not editing this video, so I do apologise if it ends up being on the long side, but I don't want to just edit all the bits out. And besides, why wouldn't you want to listen to me? I'm so lovely, mate, you know? No, okay. Don't answer that. Actually, leave in the comments down below. It's quite fiddly, actually, because it's so close. It's going to be quite fiddly to tension there. That's the only thing about a lot of these things. You say they have these lovely machine bits like this, right? But no, that screw is so close then. If you're using something like an Allen key, right? Look at the shape. Look at the shape of the Allen key. Okay, so you're going to constantly twist it around. You're going to be constantly knocking the side. You have to take it out, put it in again, take it out, put it in, aren't you? Right, real annoyance. No, that's way too high at the moment, so I'm just going to keep screwing that in there like that. Oh, crikey. This is where the sonic screwdriver would come in, wouldn't it? I reckon it would. Need the sonic screwdriver. That would burn one. Blimey. Tedious. Bit more. I wonder if I can get my fingers and then do it that way. Well, that makes more sense. Stroke the screw. There you go. That's better. So, we have another little bit to go in. It's got this little piece here, which is like a little cylinder. Right? Now that little cylinder just literally just drops in the top there. Okay, like that. Okay, and that's the isolator. So you get a nice bend on the actual belt itself, and not like a sharp, nasty bend or under too much stress. So it's quite, you know, it's well thought out. And you pull this through, okay, so you're tight. Now you've got to allow enough room for the tensioner to actually tension. I might just loosen that a little bit more. Get that nearer the top, so I've got more room to tension. Because the belt, I imagine, in time will become more, will become stretched. To make it easier to tension it later on. I think about there. Alright, so you've got not quite. We don't want this belt touching this edge. Actually, I wouldn't do it anyway because there's a gap behind it. So I want to make sure it's not enough. So it's not a sharp bend. Do you know what I mean? Here, it's less stress. Look at my finger. I cut that with a Stanley knife years ago. I was cutting plastic around a window. There you go, like that. Alright, so that's in there like so. And I think there's enough room. Let's bring a bit more there, but that's about there, I reckon. And now I could probably tension that, or tighten these up, and now clamp the belt. Hang on, what's going on here? That don't seem right to me. Surely that should actually clamp the belt. Let's have a look at that. Yes, it should. Let's just remove that. Just see what's going on with that. Because it's not actually clamping the belt, even if that's tight up. Oh, that looks like a bit of a... So there's something I'm doing wrong. Oh, sorry, move the camera. There you go. So I'm looking at the manual here, and it says isolation column, pull through there, and compress the belt. But there's nothing to compress. It's not going to compress the belt because there's... Oh, is this a flaw? Oh, I might have to do a little bit of a... Let me show you what I mean. I'm looking at the instructions. Look at the instructions here. If you can see, it's wrong way up, I know. You slide it through the gap between, where are we? Down there, and down there. Oh, that's it, behind that, yeah? And then you lock it by tightening it up, so you can press the belt. But if I pull this down here, the belt is actually lower than the surface area here. It's below the surface. So the clamp is never going to clamp the belt. It's just not possible unless there's another piece. Which it doesn't show another piece. Oh, this is strange. Unless you're supposed to... belt down and back up again. I wouldn't have thought so, would you? Right, thread the end of the belt into the belt tension sheet metal and slide a gap and lock the belt tensioner sheet with the sheet metal screws. Sheet metal screws? Sheet metal screws? There ain't no sheet metal screws. That's what it says there. No sheet metal screws. Is that just lost in translation there? So how's that going to work if it can't tension it? Right. I feel what I'm going to have to do is literally cut a little bit of the belt off the end and double that up. If that makes any sense, because that is below. I don't know if you can see it. You can't. I feel it. My finger. It is thinner than the depth of that slot. So unless you're supposed to bend that back up again like that, and then clamp the belt, which you could do. I don't see why not. Why you can just do that. Put it right at the top there like that. Then do that. That might be a solution, but that's how else is it going to clamp it? It's not. Once you tension it, it doesn't matter because you'll be using locking up the top here. Because it's purely for the purpose of tensioning. So that's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? So let's put the screw back in. I'm going to do it like that because it's the only thing you could really do. I don't like it. I feel it's a mistake. I think that's just... Because it doesn't tell you to do that. So I've had to diversify, get ingenuitive. It's quite a simple ingenuitively, but oh, not that one, what about that one? That one. Right, let's screw that back in there like so. Now so we can make sure that's near the top. Alright. Can you see the problem? I'm sure you can see what the problem is, can't you? Let me know in the comments down below if you've got any better ideas, but that looks like a design flaw to me, that the thickness of the belt isn't enough or the slot is too deep. But doing what I've done will certainly do the job, just for the tensioning purpose. Don't try and pull this up too high because you'll put a kink in the belt. It's just a bit frustrating. Let's make sure that's near, as far through as I can get it. So that's all the way at the top, like so. Make sure it's actually on top of the belt and not kicked over to one side. That's on top of the belt, that's good. Yes, that's doing the job. So I don't think it's not an issue, but it's just they don't tell you that in the manual. Maybe that is something they should be looking into. So now we've got this little extra little loop there, which is fine. Alright, it's loose like that because they've got lock screws on the side there, if you remember. And currently it's sitting over top of this little roller. It's still loose. If I just bring that out for a second. Still loose there. So now what we're going to do is got to tighten that belt by tightening up that screw. Now pull that belt tight. So we need to come down here. Oh, that one, I think. Now, I quite often, with a lot of my stuff, I tend to make specific tools for the job. That's why I do that quite a lot of my stuff. You know, for instance, I'd make a little particular little Allen key that fits in there. In this case, just with a screwdriver handle on it. You know, just to make it easier to loosen and tighten. That's the wrong one. Let's try that one. That's not the right one either. What size these are? Let's try that one. It should be metric. Oh, that's the right size. Right, so what I'm doing is I'm tightening this screw up here, and that's pulling that down. So let's put you back on the camera so you can see. So as you can see there's a little screw underneath here, a little Allen screw. This is one that we get the right Allen key, that one. And I'm tightening it clockwise. So what that's doing is it's actually pulling this down. That's tightening the belt. Make sure you haven't lost this little isolet because it can quite easily, it only rests in there. Gets trapped once you obviously tighten the belt, but just in case it fell out while you're doing it. Now, just So I'm getting fairly close on that now. Quite satisfied. I'm pushing the belt. You can't see it at the moment, I'll show you in a minute. I've got a little bit of deflection. Where the stepper motor is on the y-axis, I'm just making sure there's a little bit of deflection, but not too much. And I think that's probably about right. I've got about 2 to 3 mil deflection. Not too tight. You put a lot of strain on the rollers and the motor and everything. Right, and now I'm going to tighten up these sides. I'll show you the deflection in a moment, just so you know. I'll tighten that one up. That one. With the right size. Not that one. That one. That's it. Tighten that up. Tighten that because it locks this piece in. Okay, and then tighten the other side up here. The same on this one here, and that locks the adjuster. Right, but also you remember up top here, that is the final lock. Now, if I just before I do that, let me just show you. Just move the camera for a second. I need to get my stream deck in here. Right, so let's just move that out of the way. Now if I bring this over a little bit closer, yeah, I should really do that. But you see there's the belt there, and the deflection wise is about 2-3 millimeters deflection. That's enough. You don't need any more than that. As long as it's somewhere near there, that'd be fine. Yeah, you don't want it slipping, you say. It's got to be tight enough so it goes around the actual pinion gear here on the end of the on the end of the stepper motor, and it doesn't jump a cog, right? But you don't want it so tight you're putting strain on the bearings of the motor, and also it's harder for the motor to pull it backwards and forwards. So I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is just tighten these 2 little screws in the top here, and these ones is the lock for the belt. So once you've got the belt tightened, you then tighten the lock, and that's it. That's done. And I'll repeat that process on each one of these because there's exactly the same arrangement on the end of each of these, on the far end of each of these rails. Right, I mean, I can't get over there at the moment. Got so much crap on my bench. So yeah, so that's how you tension your belt. The next video I'm going to do is wiring up the harness. So that's what we're going to do next. Anyway, thanks for watching my little video. Hope you found that of use. I know they get a bit long and I could really edit it, I suppose, but I'm not going to. No, got too much to do. Just skip through, alright, to get to the bits that you want. So anyway, please beat the old like button and maybe subscribe to the channel, a little bell icon, because then you get one place in your pocket every time I upload another video. And I'm getting back into the flow of uploading videos on this channel, because over the winter, I lost my dog, right, and I got a bit knocked for 6, I did. So I wasn't too in a good frame of mind. Yeah, but he passed away. My little Wally passed away, so I was very, very, very sad, and I'm still a little bit, how to put it, well, I always will be, to be fair, a bit upset, to say the least. Anyway, toodaloo. Peace.